So, Mom, since you think that everything is about you, why don't you introduce this episode?
About me?
Yeah. You. This is your podcast, right?
It's not my podcast, but I feel like it should be called Mondays with Moms, even though it's not Monday.
But, okay, well, try and bring it in.
No, you go ahead.
So you fail. This is why I take over.
You go ahead. Do your thing.
Hello, everybody. This is Cripp in the Cradle. You got me, the Cripp one, and then you have Cradle over there. This is where I force my mom to be my little show monkey, and we bring in other people from time to time. And today, we're bringing in a very near and dear friend of mine, Andrew.
Hello.
Andrew, man.
Hey, that's just my first name. I don't have a last name, but I like it like that.
No, because see, that's what I like to do. I like to keep things on a first name basis only.
Sure, yeah.
I don't like committing to last names. It feels too official, you know? Like, it's a little too serious.
Sure. Well, hi everyone. I'm Andrew. I'm happy to be here. I'm getting a nice little insight into Donovan's room here. He's got some Monster cans, some Pepsi cans. This is beautiful.
Yeah, he's a mess.
See, I like to. I don't like to give this persona that I am neat and orderly. I like things to feel chaotic, and it just reflects more on who I really am. And I don't want to lie. Too many people lie about what they're about, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and about how perfect they are or whatever. Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone thinks you're perfect, Donovan.
Oh, absolutely not. None of us are.
And I don't want them to
not here anyways.
And besides, that's my mom's corner of the room, so she's really the
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's nice that she has her own corner of your room.
Yeah, I figured for her birthday I could give her a little bit. You know,
wait. Go back. What did you give me for my birthday? That was last month?
I gave you that little corner of the room.
No, you didn't give me anything.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That corner. You were in the garage for how long have you been
here? 7 years?
Yeah. And you've been living out of the garage, so I thought it's about time to bring you in.
That's nice. That's nice of you.
Very sweet.
What do you do kind gestures for your mom like that, Andrew?
Yeah. You know, I mean, she doesn't have a corner yet. I don't love her that much, but I do. You know, I try to help out where I can.
See, and that's something I think you and I kind of have sort of kindred spirits on, because I think one of the first things we discussed was that your mom was in a wheelchair, and my mom has a son in a wheelchair.
Oh, so we have the opposite thing going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yin and yang, yeah.
This feels like a sitcom.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, it definitely does. Together we're one full functioning family.
Right? Was that growing up, was it something that you found weird or different than, because people ask me from my angle, was growing up weird for you because of your situation as the son in the dynamic of family, and it really wasn't all that for me. But was that different as the son?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely challenging in different ways, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Shane. It's just probably the most difficult part is just, wanting to help someone whose situation is unfortunate and not being able to, I mean, you help as you can, but it would be great if you and my mom could both walk. That would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just really, really, really wanting that for the other person, and recognizing how unfair it is and all these things and not being able to help. I think that's the most challenging thing. And then also just, being a caregiver is a very difficult thing, and there's so much emotion tied in with it, as well as the physical toll, but also the emotional aspect of caring for this person, and then maybe frustration from both sides of you being frustrated with them and then being frustrated with you, and then everyone frustrated with the situation. It's a very difficult and taxing emotional process.
Yeah, it definitely gets that way. And I feel I guess I was so young when I found out about Donovan's disability. I was 17, when I got the actual diagnosis, I guess. And
how old was he?
He was 18 months.
Okay, wow.
And I remember I locked myself in my apartment with him for 2 days, and I was just crying because I didn't know, I didn't know what to do. And my dad was living in Florida. And my dad, because I didn't answer my phone after I, told him about what was going on in the diagnosis. And he, 18 hours from Miami to where we're at in Illinois. And he was banging on my door. And it's probably the best piece of advice my dad has ever given me. My dad, that's a whole nother subject. I mean, he was a very funny guy, not a great father, but very funny and had his moments. But the best advice I ever got.
I say that about Donovan too.
Yeah.
Donovan's a very funny guy, not a great father.
No, not at all. But the best advice that he ever gave me was that moment. And he was like, we didn't have the internet or anything, obviously. And he was like, go to the library, research everything you can. And figure it out, and no amount of tears is going to change it. So, just treat him like he's any other freaking kid and do what you need to do. And I really needed that at that moment. That was absolutely the best advice I've ever gotten in my life.
And then how soon after that was raising him maybe more difficult or more different than raising a normal kid?
And people ask me that, when I would take Donovan and when we're at the store, when we were, doing things or whatever, people, when people tell me that Donovan is so lucky to have me, I really, honestly, I it's not like a corny thing. It's kind of the other way around for me. I feel like I'm lucky to have him, honest. I mean, even though he's kind of an asshole most of the time. But in all reality, he's the easiest out of all four of the kids. He always was. Cause
wow. So you're,
I could just kind of put him somewhere and it's not like he moved or did anything. So,
so you're quite happy he's disabled, huh?
Well, yeah.
That's what she's saying.
That is,
that's what she said, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
So are you sure it was a diagnosis and not something you did to him?
Oh my gosh, here we go again.
I constantly come at her with different theories because remember when I forgot her name, but they made that Hulu show on her where her mom just for her entire life
convinced her she had cancer. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And
did you watch the documentary on that?
Yes.
Mother, Mommy, Dearest? It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And I'm pretty sure that's the situation we have going on over here.
It absolutely is not. But I guess, I never knew any different. So it was just, it was what it was. And I didn't know any different.
Sure.
So.
Sure. No, you seem to have you seem very caring and loving. And I'm very in awe of you taking care of Donovan.
Aw, see, Donovan? Why aren't you that grateful and that, that nice?
What, you taking care of your son? That's just what you're supposed to do. But you don't deserve an award or a pat in the back.
I feel like I do.
A
present or something, a flower once in a while would be nice.
Aren't you happy?
A little daisy once in a while.
That's true. You do have a corner.
That's it. That's all you need.
He gives back.
Yeah. It's funny though, because whenever growing up, I wasn't around a lot of other disabled children. It was just kind of, I took regular classes and, whatnot, so I wasn't used to, I just thought this is how it was growing up. That by the time I was kind of more embedded into, other disabled people, it was around, do you remember the NDA Association, the Jerry's Kids?
I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah, they have the whole, I think it's, Memorial Day maybe during the summer, they do the telethon, the 24-hour telethon, and everybody calls in. They have a whole bunch of celebrities and all of that kind of stuff.
They have a summer camp program where for a week a bunch of disabled children come out and just, have a good time and give the parents a break, and you get away and do a bunch of fun, wild, rowdy shit. And
I do a similar thing in my backyard every year with a bunch of local disabled kids.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
I need to
heard
send
about
Donovan. Give me your address later.
I'm kidding. I do.
No. Too late. Too late. You already said it.
I do like I do like my own Burning Man equivalent of that, where it's like no rules.
Just send
no
me.
supervision.
Just send me the address, and he'll be there.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's just a bunch of medical campers outside.
It's like they're not taking care of it all.
And they're just having a good time doing their thing.
Yeah,
It's raining and stormy
that's
and
cool.
whatever.
Where you went to this, Donovan? Where was it?
Yeah, it was always at a different park location for the most part. Like here in the Midwest, they go to like all throughout America, so there's just branches everywhere. But the one I went to was really cool, and that really was the one that made me understand, like, oh, so they're not everybody in a wheelchair is the same kind of person. Like, they're so drastically different. And I get like, oh yeah, people are different, but I figured that another 13, 14-year-old person in a wheelchair would be like me and not an annoying little piece of shit. Because that's another thing
I
that
think
a lot of people talk about.
I mean, that's the whole thing with like tokenism in general, where it's like if you're the only representation of that thing in either your school or in your own life, you don't really see the diversity amongst people who fit that as well. So you go to this camp with a bunch of disabled people, you're like, oh, we're all just people, and then we happen to have this thing in common, but that doesn't necessarily mean we have anything else in common.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because Donovan, like, I would always, I didn't understand that either, what he's talking about until, like, maybe his third or fourth year at the camp, and when I was talking to the girl who head up the camp, who, like, organized it and dispensed the counselors to each kid. And she's like, we had a big disagreement last night because everybody was fighting over who was going to be Donovan's counselor for the week. And I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, that makes me feel good. People like Donovan. And she's like, but it's, she's like, the reason is because he isn't like, he basically, I'm just going to say it. Donovan wasn't an asshole and didn't, he wasn't one of these kids that like demanded things and this and that. And I relate that to my dad's advice as far as not treating him like any other kid. I didn't, I didn't favor him. I didn't, cater to his every need, most of them, but I didn't spoil him and make him think that he should be a complete asshole just because he was in a wheelchair. So
yeah, and then he turned out to be a complete asshole.
Right?
That's so interesting.
Yeah, how'd that even happen?
Obviously, the parenting failed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you didn't take that advice too much to heart.
So I want to know what's going on in your life. What do you got going on beside the podcast outside that I love, by the way?
Oh, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. My life is pretty good. I feel like the pandemic is kind of, there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Starting to get warmer here weather-wise, stuff to do. I go surfing a lot. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. Are you vaccinated?
I mean, I am in the process of getting vaccinated. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that like a
I had one
controversial
shot.
thing to ask people anymore?
Right? Is that like something you shouldn't ask
Well,
people? Is that a thing?
No. It's just tricky because it's like not everyone is able to get it,
Yeah.
but I just happen to, I just called a place at the end of the day. I got super lucky and they were like, yeah, we have an extra one. Get over here. And I just drove over there and got it.
Awesome.
Like it's very, like I'm not in the tier and I'm certainly not trying to take someone else's vaccine, but they just happen to have an extra one and I got it.
Oh, that's
and I was
awesome.
Like, okay, crazy. And it gives some sort of, it feels like just like a monumental moment of just like, okay, we're kind of getting towards the other side of this in some way.
I feel like that too. I feel like
how
it's
is-
slowly but surely it's happening. And like, a local pharmacy, a chain pharmacy. I don't know. Donovan gets mad at me when I mention names, but
No,
but
Subway, right?
Yeah, Subway is
Subway.
Subway. You can you can get online and make appointments now to get the vaccine like
great.
anybody. So I'm gonna.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on there later tonight, and I think we're all gonna do it as
Great.
like a family thing.
A family vaccine moment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do your other kids live with you as well?
My youngest, my 12-year-old does, and
Oh, okay.
Tristan, he's here frequently, but the Zane, he's in Colorado tattooing, doing his thing.
Okay, cool.
We have
I was just
we're a
curious.
very diverse family here.
Yeah.
We take different routes
Great.
in our lives. It's you have the disabled child, you have the tattoo artist that was living out of the U-Haul there for a minute.
Hey, he's.
And are you the tattoo artist?
I
or-
am. I was a tattoo artist.
Okay.
No, that was
Okay,
Zane.
So if you call the other one the disabled child, how messed up is he?
Oh, he's fucked up. He is fucked up.
Because if you're not even called the disabled child, I don't want to know.
You know, when I
We don't even show him. He lives in Donovan's
Yeah,
closet.
Yeah.
We don't talk about him.
back when I was in high school, there were only 3 Donovans in the entire school. And whenever I would introduce myself, I would say that, and I would say there's the Donovan in a wheelchair, gay Donovan, and Donovan that drives a Lincoln, and I'm Donovan that drives a Lincoln.
right.
And gay Donovan, I'm still friends
great.
with him, by the way.
Yeah.
I love him.
Really?
Yeah, we're friends on
That's
Facebook.
awesome.
He's amazing.
It's weird though, because I never introduced them.
So what was what was Donovan who drives a Lincoln before he got his license?
Yeah, right?
I don't know if he existed
What was he?
before then, actually.
He was just born a 16-year-old kid with the license and like
In the
That-
Lincoln, yeah.
That the Lincoln brought him into Donovanhood officially.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
it was.
pretty much.
Up until that point, you just have to find your identity as a Donovan.
Right. And what's your day-to-day life, Donovan? Are you out in the world doing stuff, or you mostly stay home? What do you do?
Dude, I haven't seen what the outside world looks like in like at least over a year now.
Oh my god.
No, you went to a couple drive-ins and stuff, and I feel like that's more me, but because like this whole COVID thing, I
Sure.
don't know, and all I do know is that my life doesn't work without him, so I've kind of
Right.
like made him bubble boy, so
I get it. No, I understand. No, I mean, I yeah, it's very scary. I mean, my mom, I was similarly afraid for her health during this, where it's like she has MS, which is like an autoimmune disorder, and I was just, I obviously don't want her to get this, and that would be such a tragic situation. She's now vaccinated, which is great.
Yay.
And she's good now, but it is very scary, and I understand you trying to protect him.
yeah, so I am looking forward to getting the vaccine and being able to like get him out and around people, but I'm a little
Yeah.
nervous how he'll act because he has been
I
like
don't know.
quarantined for so long.
Yeah, I don't know how to behave anymore.
That it'll be pretty interesting to see how that happens.
I'm getting weird anxieties, like imagining being out in the world again, that I don't know how to be around people. And I don't have any shame anymore.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you were talking about me going out, the few times I have been, I went to a drive-in. I went to see a double picture of Rocky Horror Picture Show and Little Shop of Horrors, and
Oh, cool.
it was really cool. But the thing was, I don't know if that counts as going outside, only because I hardly remember any of it.
Why? Were you drinking?
No, I was really stoned. Because being out of my wheelchair is uncomfortable. And
Okay, yeah, I understand. I understand.
I had one too many edibles. And I slept a lot. The entire time.
Edibles will creep up on you like that. Yeah.
It happens. Andrew, do you have, like, fun edible stories?
I mean, I don't. I actually did drugs when I was super young,
Yeah.
and then I kind of like was over drugs by the
See?
time I was like a freshman in high school.
See,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like I did like smoke weed because everybody did, and
Uh-huh.
and I did that, but it was different for me. I get that everybody's like brain chemistry is different and those kind of things, affect them differently. But for me, I've always like when I smoked weed, I would get locked in my head and want a box of Fruity Pebbles. It wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun thing for me. But apparently all my kids like smoke weed and are very productive. So,
well, it depends.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'll do it like very seldomly. I have like one specific strain that seems to be okay for me that I'll do like one hit alone at home playing video games, like maybe once a month. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm pretty sober. Like I don't really drink. I'm pretty boring. But I did all that stuff when I was younger. I used to drink a lot. I used to like do a lot of drugs when I was really young, and then I just kind of stopped.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a lot of people that I know as of lately, because everybody goes through that wild phase at early stages in their life, and I more hate the people that hear, oh man, I don't really do all that much, and they're like, oh, you're not even doing it right, you need to.
When they tell you you're not doing drugs right,
that's when you know your life is a little fucked up, when you're that guy. It's like, you're not doing drugs right.
But no,
do you have
oh, go ahead.
Do you have medical marijuana there?
It's legal here now.
Yeah, and there is medical too.
Cool.
The funniest, did you guys have a Family Video out there when that was still
I'm
around?
familiar with it, yeah. Yeah.
I knew Family Video was struggling around here because right around the same time that Illinois was like, we're going to pass the legalization of marijuana, the Family Video started advertising like that they were selling CBD for animals.
What? That is very, very far away from their intended goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you could.
This is what happens in Northern Illinois.
You were able to walk into a store, get a brand new movie, a brand new video game, and some CBD for your dog.
That's amazing.
All in one trip. Done.
It's kind of what you need.
Yeah, and and I feel like Anakin would benefit from that. Honestly,
you just saw it.
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering what your dog's name was. Yeah.
We have Anakin and we have Padme.
Oh, okay. And those are based on Star Trek or
Star Wars?
No, it was Star Trek.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
So you're a prequel household, or?
Mom?
Yes.
You guys are a prequel household?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They're going to have puppies, and then I'm going to have a little Luke.
God, I want to believe you so
Oh,
bad.
wow.
You're embarrassing. This is worse than anything you've ever done to me.
No. It's a mom thing.
Star Wars is a mom thing?
Oh, kind of. I mean, Star Wars was a thing way before you were ever even thought of.
Was it marketed towards moms?
Oh, my gosh.
Did George Lucas set out to make a science fiction?
I'm just saying, I was into Star Wars before you were even thought of.
Yeah,
so,
because I wasn't born.
Exactly.
No, you were born. She just didn't really think of you for the first few
years.
And then when you were 4, she's like, I better think of this kid now.
I'm like, oh, he's got to go to preschool or people are going to ask questions.
My mom didn't even name me until
right.
No, she didn't. She didn't have a name for me until the moment we were leaving the hospital, when they were like,
we're going to talk about this.
You have to go. You have to leave now. So you should probably name your child.
It's true, though.
How did you decide?
It's true. They brought me a book of names, a whole book that just had names in alphabetical order. And I flipped it open and I thought to myself, the first name I see on this page is going to be it. That's it. And it was Donovan. I was like, yo, you know what? That's a good name. I like that name. His name is Donovan.
That was it.
So were you just super in denial about the reality of this kid?
I think so, honestly. I mean, I was 16,
Sure.
Yeah, I was 16 and I thought I knew what I was doing, but I clearly did not, looking back on it. And I was just like, okay, this is his name. His name is Donovan.
That is so funny.
That's a good name, though. You can't be mad about that.
No, it worked out.
Yeah,
it worked
right?
out. And also, it's a unique name. I don't know any Donovans, so it's good.
I know Donovan with a Lincoln and a gay Donovan.
Well, other than those two.
But you know what? Gay
don't...
Donovan changed his name, like legally. His name is Alexandra now.
Now it's homosexual Donovan.
Oh my gosh, don't say that.
I thought it was going to be straight Donovan. He's like, my name is straight Donovan now, guys.
I really changed it up. Guess what?
He's like, I am still gay, though. I'm just like kind of ironic.
I'm just fucking with all of you right now.
Yeah.
I took a pamphlet from Milo, and then I was like, well,
Yeah.
this looks kind of
So
interesting.
so Milo is... Someone sent me a link to that. Milo is considered himself straight now?
Yeah, he said that he went to a conversion, like, therapy thing.
Oh,
and then now
he went
he's
to a
straight.
cult?
Is that what...
Like, he got the gay beat out of him?
I mean, that is...
Yeah. And that was...
That is so crazy. I feel like he just, like... I feel like he is only doing that because he, like, knows it's controversial. Like, I feel like he doesn't...
Yeah,
you know what I
like,
mean?
he
He's
just wants
like,
some
people
attention.
get mad at me. Yeah.
Because that was, like, his golden ticket thing, was that he was
It's
a
true.
gay Republican that was, like, had a black boyfriend. And that's what shielded him from criticism.
Interesting.
I mean, but is it, like, a huge deal right now? Like, I mean, do people care? Like, I mean, I know some people, like, older people, like, you know, whatever, but the younger generation and my generation, how much do we really care about your sexuality or who you're dating? I don't.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, people cared to a degree. Like, I would disown you if you turned out to be anything other than just what you are now.
What am I now?
Single. And that's how it should stay.
Yeah.
And that's
We're going to keep it like that.
I kind of blame that on my kids. Like, nobody, like, once somebody starts trying to talk to me, you know, and I start talking about my kids, and they you know, everybody, obviously you start looking people up when you like, oh, they're kind of cute, you know, and
Sure.
and then they see like my kids, like my page and my kids' social media page, and they're like, yeah, fuck that. Like, I don't want anything to do with that mess.
Yeah. Donovan's little profile picture does not inspire, hey, maybe I should hang out with this chick."
Right? Like, oh, hey.
It seems carefree. It's like dying in a hospital bed.
What's wrong with that?
What's up with that profile picture? What's that from?
There was
Oh my gosh. You know what? Let me tell you about that picture. I will tell you. I'm going to explain that picture.
Yeah, Andrew, you like a good story, so here you go.
Donovan.
Have you talked about this on the podcast? Is this new?
Yeah, this is new.
Yeah, this is new. I don't
Okay,
think
great.
anybody even knows
Great.
this. Donovan, I think, was 18? No, 21.
Yeah, it was at least 21.
You just turned 21.
Yeah.
His cousin Pete came over, and his friend David came over. And they brought whiskey with them. And you know, I had talked to Donovan numerous times about drinking and drugs, you know, did the whole mom thing. And, you
She
know,
was like, they were really cool. You should do them.
that's not at all what I said.
That is.
But, but, you know, they came over, and his cousin Pete, you know, he'd been around forever. So I trusted him. I trusted Donovan in his care, you know. And 4 hours later, somebody wakes me up. Donovan is, you know, completely wasted, and he is throwing up. But due to Donovan's condition, he cannot, like, really physically throw up due to his muscles and them being weaker.
Whoa.
So when I got out to the garage, he was gray. And I like lost it. And I was like, somebody call 911, and I am freaking out. And I get Donovan out of the chair, and I turn him upside down to try to get whatever alcohol's in there to come out, because I know he can't physically throw it up. And
Because that's like how people die.
yeah,
They choke on the vomit.
absolutely. And I warned him and all of his friends about that. But nobody apparently listened to me. They didn't. They must have thought I was lying.
It's a trial and error thing.
Yeah, okay. So Donovan was in a coma for 3 days. And
Holy
yeah,
shit.
yeah, and that's what that picture is from. And when he when he woke up, and he, you know, he woke up and the nurse that was there gave him a pen and a paper and he was like, call mom. And the nurse called me. I was like, yo, tell him I'm at football practice and I'll be there when I can get there. I was so mad. I was so mad, because I told him and it was like, I wasn't kidding. Like, I know. So
I also feel like him coming out of the coma just actually made you madder because you're like, okay, now I know I can be
right.
mad
Like now I
okay.
know I'm totally beating his ass.
Yeah.
But I remember coming in and out at different periods of time, and my first well-conscious thought when waking up was, all right, I don't have a hangover. That's cool. but secondly, I bet my mom's gonna be pissed.
Oh my God, I so was.
Mad.
I was so.
Was that the first
mad.
time you drank?
One of the first times.
It wasn't the first time, but I
Wow.
think that was the first time that he did he just
Sure.
drank straight whiskey and thought that he, he could handle it.
Yeah.
Even though I repeatedly told him and his friends that, what could happen, especially with Donovan. And they were all like, oh.
Because you drink now, Donovan, but you figured it out?
Yeah, I think that, after that you learn your limit. You learn where to draw the line at okay, I'll stop here. And that's about where you end up in a coma
crazy.
for 3 days.
Yeah. If you ever end up in
So
a
then you took
coma
his
for
picture
3
when
days
you-
from drinking, you pretty much learn your limit, I think.
And then you took his picture when you went to the hospital? Is
Well,
what
see,
the
that
photo's
was
from?
the thing.
I
that-
didn't
that-
take that picture. Where did that come from? I didn't do that.
The picture itself was one of the times I was conscious, and I think my cousin Pete was there, and I had my phone, and he let me type on it, and I was like, what do I look like right now? Just I was curious, I wanted to know. And he was like, do you want me to take a picture? And I was like, yeah. So he took it from me.
I'm looking at it right now. It's funny because you're so you clearly look so young, and it's very funny.
Yeah, I never even thought about who took that picture. I never even asked.
I wanted to know. I was curious. And then when he took the picture and showed it to me, he put the phone by my hand so I could type, and I just said, sick.
But I was so mad.
So you couldn't talk just because all this stuff in your mouth.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I
because
had
he
the
was
feeding-
still
I had the-
incubated.
The tube breathing for me. and
Oh my
everything.
God. So you got intubated before it became popular during COVID.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I was kind of a trendsetter, just saying.
You're
He
a
started
trendsetter.
it.
That's awesome. That's great.
Whiskey and incubation. Donovan did that.
Yeah, so I guess you can't change that picture until you get intubated again, huh? I feel like that's just going to be your profile picture.
Yeah, it's kind of what at the beginning of when the pandemic was hitting real hard.
Sure.
A lot of people were, I think, just in that really dark place, mentally, where nobody felt comfortable about thinking ahead of time, and it just felt so heavy in that moment that I
Yes.
remember those few months where nobody kind of felt like joking, at least, or it was just all doom and gloom. It was the COVID Trump thing every day bullshit, and so
Except for Donovan.
and that was my thing. I wanted to show you have to laugh at stuff, so I thought it would be funny to just put that as my profile picture during this time.
I like it.
And the amount of
It's
people
good.
that DM'd me dude, are you fine? Are you okay? As if I was actually in the hospital with COVID, with an intubator in my mouth. And I was like, you know what I need to do right now?
I'm going to change my profile picture. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what this means.
That's the most cryptic way to tell people how you're doing.
And just don't say anything, just the profile
Yeah, exactly.
picture. And
But
that's
it was very unfair because I got a few messages as well on my Facebook because I'm not on Twiddly-Deed or whatever whatever it is.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a few messages as well, and I'm like, "What are you even talking about? He's fine." I'm like, "What?"
She woke up to messages like, tell me he's gonna live. Tell me he's gonna pull
He's
through."
not. Tell me. I'm praying for you and this and I'm like, what? I'm like, what is going on?
Meanwhile, I'm just in my room smoking weed.
Yeah.
Totally, just tweeting. Wait, what is your condition, Donovan?
I have spinal muscular atrophy type 2.
Okay, interesting.
Basically,
Just wasn't
like the clip notes of it is like his
Spine.
the
fucked up.
nerves that go. There's like a trillion nerves that go out of your spine, and they don't work. Basically, they don't tell the muscles what to do, and that's kind of the gist of it.
That's my dad's side of the
Got it.
family.
And then his muscles. Oh
That
yeah.
has that. He
Okay.
that was his way of contributing to parenting.
Oh, beautiful.
That's not true.
That was his half.
That's
Yeah.
not true. But basically, like you have to have you have to have two people who have the same who carry the same genetic code for spinal muscle atrophy.
Recessive.
Yeah.
And then when you get
Interesting.
together and have a child, 1 out of 4 of your children will have that particular condition.
Ah.
It's
Because
like
I did do the whole DNA
Interesting.
testing after I found out, just
Sure,
the genetic testing, just to
Wow,
figure it
wow.
out.
it's like winning the lottery, but if the lottery was really shitty.
Right. Like if the lottery
Right.
made you pay them millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's the lottery I won.
Yeah.
Well, it's like everyone wins the lottery, but one person loses the lottery, and it's really bad.
Yeah.
Like if everyone enters and they're like, "Oh, I won the lottery, thank God." It's like only one person loses, and it's
And I was the loser.
like a really bad situation.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that was it.
And I'm full on convinced that my mom is racist because the only minority child
See-
she had is the disabled one. So
That's not true.
it
That's
is-
not true because Zane is also kind of, he's
You have to-
Cuban.
No, he's not. You look at him and you don't think Cuban. You think dirty white boy that's just got out of a rave.
I love him.
In what way are you a minority, Donovan?
I'm Mexican.
Oh, you're so disabled, I couldn't even tell.
Right?
I know.
Exactly.
That's how Mexican I am.
It trumps it.
It trumps the way I look. I'm so disabled that you don't even notice that I'm Mexican.
You're so disabled. You're so disabled. You look white.
Exactly. But yet he calls, Tristan and Kane what do you call them exactly?
The N-word.
No, you do not. He calls
What do I call it?
No, but
The
not literally.
something
Not
brothers.
the N word. Literally,
Yeah,
the N
literally
word. Just
the
that.
N-word. That's-
Just the
Yeah.
N word. Yeah, just that. He doesn't say the
Whoa,
word.
that's too much. Whoa. No, what do I call them?
something brothers. I don't know.
Something brothers.
Yeah.
The Aryan brothers?
Yes, that's what he calls them, the Aryan brothers.
Oh, the Aryan brothers.
Yeah.
Nice.
When Cain was born, he was like prime Hitler's youth.
Oh my gosh.
He was born with bright blonde hair, the bluest ocean eyes.
He was a pretty baby.
That's all I'm saying. And then
Beautiful.
you had your Mexican son, and you're like, no, this one's got to be able to stay in eyesight at all times.
I've learned my lesson as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
I know what's important.
I'm excited for you guys to get that vaccination. So are you going to go, Donovan?
Yeah, we're gonna plan it out, and I've been thinking about like how to make this fun for me, because I not of the belief that like this has microchips. Obviously, I'm not that hard of it, but I feel not super skeptical enough to not get it. I'm gonna go in. But I'm going in with this like, okay, let's see what happens. Because some of my friends that got it, they're fine. Nothing happened. And it was what it was. And then a handful of my other friends were like a part of the small group that were like, I feel like I'm dying.
Really? I haven't heard
Right. And
Oh, go ahead, hon.
no, I think it definitely might make you a little sick, but
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard. Like I've
the
had a
question
lot of nurses, like friends who are nurses or
Mhm.
teachers who have gotten the vaccine, and they may have felt kind of a little off for a couple of days, but they seem to be fine. So
But as someone who has a very specific condition, like, do they test the vaccine with people with different conditions? Like, is there a way you can find out if anyone who has what you have has gotten the vaccine?
See, that's what I mean, right? Like, I don't want to sound like the
Right.
crazy anti-vaxxer guy when I say I'm a little
Sure.
nervous,
No, I know what you mean.
but I would be lying if I said I wasn't.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not sure.
Well, my mom got it, and I don't think she looked into it, and she was fine.
Did she get like the one that was
specific,
like
that's?
Did she get the one that was like 2 shots, or did she get the 1 shot?
She got the 2-shot one, and she felt like a little sick after the second one, but overall she was fine. She took it very, said it was pretty easy. But yeah, I mean, that is like, that's the whole reason why like you can't get it if you're a kid. Like, kids aren't allowed to get it right now because they just haven't tested it enough on children, and it's very hard to test stuff on children because you have to get like the consent, and there's all these complicated things. But yeah, it's like, that is interesting. I haven't even thought of that, of like how there's so many people with so many specific health issues. It's like, if you're doing a rushed vaccine trial, you obviously can't test it with everyone who has something going on.
And you can't, and even if you did, it isn't a long enough period of time to really know.
Hey, honestly, maybe they can pay you to take it so you can be the trial.
Hey, there you go. I could make money off this.
That's what you got to do.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Why? What disease do you have?
Well, no, off of you.
She gets your money, dude.
I gave you the disease. It's my money.
It was my genetics that made it happen.
Exactly. You are her test case.
Yeah.
You're her project. She gets all your.
Did you pass science
winnings
that year, Mom?
I've always passed science. That was one class I always aced.
No, you didn't.
I did. Science was my thing.
Hey, how did your short bus GoFundMe go?
Oh, it's doing good. We're about, I think, 75% of the way there now for it.
That's
very
awesome.
excited. That's going to be very, very fun.
Yeah, I'm really pumped about that. I need to just buckle down and do better with pushing it more, and I'm bad at that.
So the goal with that would be to drive around and do comedy shows, or what's the goal?
Yeah, I thought about how even when like the pandemic was about to end, like it's going to be still difficult doing shows comfortably for me in terms of like I get vaccinated, but there's no guarantee what will happen, and even then, a lot of comedy clubs aren't very handicap friendly as far as being able to
accessible.
Get up. So I thought just going out on the road and having the vehicle be the stage essentially, and doing impromptu little pop-up parking lot comedy shows would be a funny idea. Because like worst case scenario, people just come up and say, "Hey, you gotta go."
I like that.
And even then,
have you done much live performance stuff?
Like getting out after being inside for so long will be great for him.
It'll be a big celebration. Have you done much live performance stuff?
I've done a handful of times, but nothing that I was going to do a lot more right when the pandemic did start, because that's when other comedians were like, "Hey, dude, you should open up for me. I'm going to be in Chicago," and obviously that.
I was just curious because when I saw that, I just didn't know how much stuff you'd done, and I was just curious. So that's great. I hope that happens. I hope you get the bus and make it work.
Yeah, I'm excited because I mean, there's still that whole factor of learning and bombing essentially, and the things that come with it.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, it's more funny to essentially bring in people to watch you fail in that way and just learn from it, and that'd be funny.
Yeah. I like that.
Do you have a couple of questions?
That's what I was going to ask now, because
you have questions.
This is one of my favorite parts of the podcast. I wanted to start with you, Andrew. This is the section where I'll have people ask or tell us about little funny arguments, disagreements, debacles, what have you, that people have had with their parents. Something that has just been kind of annoying throughout, the relationship-wise between you guys. And we sorted out, me and my mom, and we essentially pick a side on who's in the right, who's in the wrong. So, off the top of your head, is there any, little...
Do you have siblings?
Arguments?
I have siblings. I do not speak to them. No, I do. I'm kidding. I have a bunch of siblings. We don't really have disagreements. We just haven't spoken in 20 years. No, I have 4 siblings. They're all kind of... I have 2 full and 2 half.
Oh, same.
I get along with them all. I feel like... same with you? Oh, interesting. I feel like I don't see them enough lately to really have any disagreements. I just visited my brother and I saw my sister for the first time in over a year, and my niece and nephew, and it was really awesome last week. But I feel like I just haven't seen my family enough to even think of any negatives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just it's been a year. Besides last week, it's been a year since I've seen anyone in my family. So I just kind of I can't think of any specific things. Here's one thing with my mom that is very difficult when I'm staying with her.
Yeah.
Is and you'll probably relate to this, is I have to help her transfer from her bed to her wheelchair and from her bed to her toilet.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, she has to pee 3 or 4 times a night, and it is unbelievably frustrating.
Yeah, no.
It's the worst thing in the fucking world.
No, I would Donovan doesn't do that yet. He's not old enough, but there's been a couple times where he's been sick, and he'll call me in the middle of the night because he's got to poop. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, holy shit. Because, it's hard because you're hardly awake and you're like, oh my God,
Oh my God.
So I understand. I get it.
And part of MS is you have to pee a lot. So it's also part of her condition.
Yeah.
So it's she'll wake me up 3 times in the middle of the night, and I am so tired and so frustrated and angry, but also not trying to be mad.
And then
at
you
her,
feel bad, right?
Her, and she obviously... You feel bad. There's guilt, and it's just brutal. And I remember one time there was a time where she was staying at my sister's, and she had to go to the hospital, and she went to visit my sister for a week, and she ended up living there for 6 months.
Oh my gosh!
Because she had emergency surgery. She was in the hospital for 4 months, and she was at my sister's for 2 months because she wasn't well enough to travel. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I went to my sister's house for a couple weeks to kind of help out. And I remember she had this bell because the guest room was far enough away from where she was staying that she couldn't yell. So there would just be this bell in the middle of the night, so loudly. I have terrible memories of just being exhausted.
I would have been so
woken
angry.
up by the bell. It's so brutal. So that's not a disagreement, but
no, that's silly.
It's just
I would have fucked that bell. I feel you. I would not have liked that
crazy.
at all.
And now it's whenever you hear a bell, you just instantly are you're tense.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taken back to that. But let's hear someone else's disagreement, huh?
Okay, let's see. I have one here from Mr. Slapstick. He says, my mom said it was offensive that I'm going to admit now, never really sat down to watch Lord of the Rings in its entirety, but
same.
This person says that their mom found it offensive that a character wasn't played by an actual dwarf, as in somebody with dwarfism, and that the person asking said that it didn't matter either way.
I don't know, I don't feel like I can really have an opinion because I also haven't watched Lord of the Rings. I did, I read one of the books because of Grandpa, but
okay,
I don't feel like I can have an opinion since I haven't seen the movie.
Let's make it more relatable for everybody here. How did you feel about, what's his name, playing Stephen Hawking, even though he was completely able-bodied, and he won an Oscar for that role? Does that offend you?
No, not even a little bit. Does it offend you? That's what I want to know.
Why would it offend me?
Well, because you're,
I'm what?
You know.
What?
You're really smart. You're really
Right?
smart. You're like second level smart.
Thank you.
That's why, right?
I love this guy.
Yeah.
He just saved me. He totally saved me from being canceled.
I don't know. And to me, those things, I kind of get it to a degree for both arguments if we're being just genuine, because I understand that the laws that go into disability and labor are kind of weird, and they can be a little tricky to work with.
They
And
can be very
sometimes-
taxing on like movie sets or things like that. Absolutely.
yeah.
But also with a lot of that stuff, I think it also comes down to just the way Hollywood operates, which is like so based on star power
Yeah.
and profits and stuff like that, where it's like if there happened to be an actor who's super famous who is in a wheelchair, then it's like, great, have that person do it. But if they have to have like a star to sell the movie to the studio or whatever,
Yeah.
it's just like, not that it's right, but it's just like there's so many other factors that they're taking into consideration. Obviously, it would be better if, it was someone who was actually disabled, but it's
Yeah.
like there's no famous disabled actors, which is a problem in itself. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
And so to relate it to
Like who's the most famous gay actor? Like who, you know what I mean? Like are there any A-list actors who are like gay men? I can't even think. I mean, I know there's like
There has to
I
be,
just can't even
but I'm
think of
just
it.
trying to think of them offhand. Donovan's better with names than I am.
Donald Trump,
Oh my God.
I think he's the gay icon that we all need in our life.
Stop it.
But you know what I mean? Like it's all such a systemic issue.
Yeah.
Like with, years ago when Scarlett Johansson played that, the Ghost in the Shell Asian character or whatever.
Oh, that was,
And it was
so
like-
great.
I mean, it's just like crazy that she did that, but it's like, the problem is there just weren't any A-list Asian women actors.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the issue is we, all that needs to be fixed, which is happening, and there is more.
Yeah.
Like that's all this stuff just needs to be like, the whole problem with all of that is like representation at the top has been so homogenous for so long, where the most famous actors and actresses are all like white men and white women. And so, that means like the only way to achieve diversity is to like hire from the bottom, so that the people who are kind of guest starring and all these things are diverse people.
Yeah.
And then you have like young white actors who are like, it's impossible to get a role because I'm not diverse.
Yeah.
Because the situation is trying to be fixed from the bottom up. But as those actors become more famous and as, there gets more equality everywhere, then it'll be less about like, hiring diversity in a specific sector, because everything will be kind of naturally diverse by virtue of like the most famous people being a mix of different types of people and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always been of the belief that if you're looking for minority representation in mainstream media, it's going to be few far between, especially if you're like of a very small set of minority, like
Totally.
you said, being in a wheelchair, there's no
Yeah, I
famous-
can't. There's no names.
Yeah, I
There's
couldn't
no
think
names.
of anybody at all.
It's crazy. Well, you know what I was thinking about the other day is there is not I've never heard, like, I've been doing stand-up comedy for 12 years. I have been in a lot of different scenes. I started in Portland, Oregon. I live here in LA. I've traveled a lot, done a bunch of comedy festivals, been to thousands of open mics, met thousands of comedians. I've never heard of a single blind comedian.
Yeah,
And why is that?
yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be an amazing perspective?
Yeah.
And like, they're fully capable of communicating and getting around. Like, it's not that crazy of a disability. But I've never heard of a single blind person doing stand-up comedy.
That
What's
would
up with
be
that?
an amazing perspective. Like,
It'd be
that would
great. I know.
great.
I would love that perspective. Like, why not?
I agree.
Like, I thought about that the other day, and I'm just like, why is that? And I don't know the answer to that.
It's
But
just
like, even at an open
Well, now
mic,
we
and
have to
I've asked a
find
bunch
one.
of.
We have to find one.
I
now.
know. I've asked a few different comedians who grew up in totally different, or who started comedy in totally different scenes around the country, and they all also are like, yeah, I've never heard of a blind person doing stand up. So
I think it's just
anyway,
'cause they can't
I don't know what
find
the point of
club.
that is. I guess so.
That's just as
Just
bad
come
as
on.
saying you doing stand up.
No, it's not.
It is.
Yeah, that is true. Actually,
It's just
yeah. You know what? That is a comparably bad joke. Yeah,
You're better than that, Donovan.
What?
you're better than that, Donovan.
They're my people. We're all
You're canceled.
disabled at the end of the day.
But no, it is interesting, like, because I've definitely, I met stand-up comedians who are in wheelchairs,
Yeah, same.
and like lots of different types of people. But yeah, I've never heard of a blind comedian, and I want one.
Yeah, we need to find one.
It was funny that you say that because I was thinking that
We need to find
there
one.
needs to be more really tall, blonde-haired people named Andrew in comedy scenes. Like,
Yes, yeah, I agree. I've been thinking the same thing. I need to kind of be with my people.
like I don't see that enough. This next question I really
Oh, there's the dog.
I know, like he's
Yes.
all blocking me. Doobie, Anakin, come here, babe. Come
he
here.
just wants to
Lay
read
down,
this.
babe. Lay down. Okay.
We have to have him in here with us because if he has like really dumb social anxiety
He doesn't like being
Aw.
away from me at all.
at all.
Oh, sweet.
Uh,
I got a puppy recently, and she's like that.
oh yeah, what's your new puppy's name again?
Her name is Spinach,
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
or Spinster, Spinny, Osama Bin Laden. She's got all sorts of
That's
nicknames.
a good one. I like that one.
Yep.
Anakin responds to Anakin and Doobie.
Yeah, we call him Doopy.
Oh, okay.
Because if
That's
you
cool.
just look at his
Okay, so you got another question?
yeah. So this one's good.
Oh, I guess my answer. Yeah, I guess we didn't really fully answer
don't
that
think
one,
so
but I
either.
would say, the whole Hollywood system just is a little bit weird. But it would be better if there were more famous people who were dwarves or famous people who were in wheelchairs. Or whatever.
Absolutely.
So let's get that
So
going.
that's a pretty split. Like we get where each other are coming from to a degree. I would say.
Yeah, we get both sides, but it's a systemic
Yeah.
thing versus just like the cast or the people who cast Lord of
Exactly.
the Rings. It's not like their blood is on their hands.
That's it.
Yeah.
So this one, this one's by Ollie Wrestling. They asked, if you buy food like takeaway or whatever, do you have to buy for everyone in the house?
You definitely should ask. That's just a courtesy thing.
You offer.
Yeah, absolutely. You should ask everybody if they want something. I don't feel like you need to buy
Yes.
it. I mean, they can,
Correct.
cash app you or chip
Correct.
in or whatever, but I feel
Yeah.
like the
You
polite
gotta
thing
ask.
is to be like, hey, I'm ordering whatever it is. Do you want anything?
Yeah, even if it's like a call-in prostitute or whatever, you're like,
Yeah,
hey,
do
I'm
you want
ordering,
one? You know?
Stacy, do you want one? Yeah, you gotta be considerate.
Right.
And I was going out to pick up some meth. I was just wondering. If
Or drugs,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Trying to
going
get
out
down
for,
on this?
this or that.
Does anyone want to get addicted with me? Or-
Does anybody want, a bag of cocaine or whatever?
see,
yeah.
But then, what if you get put in that situation where the other person expects you to like cover for them?
I feel like people know. Like,
Really?
if somebody comes
Yeah.
at you like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm ordering this, do you want anything? I wouldn't assume they would be paying for it. I would be like, oh yeah, I'll cash app you and order me some, chicken stir fry or whatever.
Maybe you guys just know better people than I do. Because almost everyone I know would be like, yeah, go ahead and grab me this. And then they'd be like, okay.
You're not
Well,
wrong because
are these
I've
people,
done that with
are these
your friends.
people they
His friends have
are
done
these people
that
they
to
live
me.
with?
Yeah, I'm assuming they're family, yeah.
Well, I mean, look, if they do it to you once, next time you don't ask them. So
There you go.
You do the right thing. In worst case scenario, you're out $20 and you don't do it again.
Man.
Yeah, because Donovan's friends have done that to me before. Because I always feel bad, and I'm always like, oh, I'm ordering Chinese, or I'm ordering pizza, and they're like, oh, yeah, this, and
Yikes.
and like
Yikes.
$70 later, I'm like, okay, yo.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are full.
Yeah.
You guys good?
There's not one instance I can name where I would comfortably tell somebody that I was ordering pizza, and they're like, hey, could you order, like, a specific kind of pizza? I don't know how you have that in you to be that person.
Your friends do.
And I don't get it. Because I agree with you. You get the basics. You get cheese, pepperoni, sausage.
That's why Pizza Hut needs to bring back the personal pan pizza. Do you remember that? Like the little, 4 square? Yeah, I want that back.
You want them back.
Personal pan pizzas are
They
great.
are. They're amazing.
Mom, you're a precious summer child.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that was sweet.
The simple things make you happy. and
And
that's
they
what I
do.
appreciate.
They do.
So I would say that this one, you at least ask
Yeah.
everybody in the house.
At least ask.
And
unless they have a history of not paying
Exactly.
And then in that case, you just ignore them. And if they get upset,
you. Yeah, you act for the rest of their life.
and if they get upset,
Don't
with
ever
you,
talk to them again.
you have grounds to disown.
Yeah,
them.
they don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Is that it?
But by the way, this doesn't apply if it's like your kid. If you have a 6-year-old kid, they do not need to pay you back.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, wait a minute.
No, I
What?
don't make my kids pay for food.
And that was your mistake. Because look at how all shitty all of us came out. Maybe if you were a bit more stern with us, we'd be a little bit more grateful and proud.
Right.
I'm kind of by law obligated
That's
to
true.
do that. But next question.
So I don't know if you noticed, when I asked people to ask questions, I used a picture of one of the brothers
Oh, I saw
from
that.
Zach and Cody.
What is...
I retweeted it, and yeah, I didn't recognize it, but I just knew it wasn't me, but looked kind of like me.
And so a lot of people are just, so what was Zach and Cody like? And I really like that. Have you actually ever gotten like not with Zach and Cody, but do people ever confuse you with anybody?
You know what's funny is like there was one time that someone thought I was Eddie Redmayne, who's the person you had brought up earlier.
Really?
Yeah, he goes, oh my, but it was so weird. I was at a bar in downtown LA, and he goes, oh my God, you're Eddie Redmayne. And I was like, nope. And he's like, yes, you are. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, you totally are. And I was like, okay, I am. And he was like, okay, great. He's like, I want to get a picture with you. I was like, okay. And then he took a picture with me, and then he kept showing me in his phone pictures of him with all these other celebrities. But I was kind of like, I feel like those aren't the real people if you think I'm Eddie Redmayne.
Like he just...
I feel like he just goes up to people and yeah, I don't know if he's like doing a bit or what, but like he was really annoying.
If it's a bit, that's a hilarious bit.
That's a
and
good
I
one.
Really like that.
It is a pretty funny bit,
But
I don't think it was a bit.
Yeah.
He seemed like off.
no, I get that. I get that entirely. I like the idea of somebody just really dead set, like gaslighting you into like, no, that is who
Yeah,
you
I
are.
know. I know.
That is really who you are.
I know that's you, dude.
And I don't even really look that much like him.
I can't see that. That's what's so funny about
Yeah,
it.
I'm looking at pictures right now, but I mean, my hair used to be shorter. I don't know, whatever.
That's the kind of beautiful thing with me is that it's you. That's it. You know who I am or you don't. There's no confusing. Oh, you're the other guy in the wheelchair, right?
You're that other funny guy in the wheelchair.
The few times I have been recognized have been very like almost not scary, but like unexpectedly overwhelming because I'd never noticed that was a possibility. And the first time was when I was at Gus Johnson's live show in Chicago. That was fun. Somebody recognized me, and I wasn't ready for that, and I was
Nice.
I tensed up, and I got like paranoid. I was like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, oh shit, I have to calm down. I'm on 10. And the second time somebody recognized me was at a Louis C.K. comedy show.
Oh yeah. That was
Okay.
fun.
He was performing here in my hometown, and it was weird. Nobody talked about that show. That wasn't
It
advertised.
was
very
such
much.
a great show, though. That was amazing.
Oh, was it after he got
Oh,
canceled?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I felt like that was.
He's the funniest.
Yeah, he's super funny,
He's the funniest.
and I needed to know like what was he gonna
and
do
so
with it.
someone recognized you there?
Yeah, and I feel like it getting recognized
Yeah,
there.
But
I'd be so
wait,
curious
they
to see that.
recognized me too.
They did. That was. You didn't like
But
it,
I
did you?
did I was Mom. I just told them that,
you didn't want to be recognized.
I didn't. I was like, no, I'm not Mom. He just needed somebody to open the door for him.
Was the show good?
It was amazing.
yeah,
It was
I thought
so
it was
good.
really good.
Was it like basically what he did for his special that just came out last year, or was it totally different?
There was a lot of that in there, but he did do a good handful of stuff that didn't end up in the special.
Yeah, like he related, like, I mean, even when he opened up, he was like, so, what have you guys been up to this last year? Like, kind of referring to him getting canceled and talking about that. And that was funny. That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen him since that all went down, but I've seen him a few times in LA over the years, and he's just so funny. Like, I just laughed more at him than anyone else I've seen. He's very funny.
Yeah.
I love him.
That was the first time I noticed that they were putting like phones in those like super security.
Oh yeah, they totally took our phone.
Especially for him, Yeah,
because that was mine first thing.
And it's interesting. It wasn't really like advertised. You said it wasn't really advertised.
No,
not at all. And even
he was like
living
super
in
under
town,
the radar, going all over the country.
Yeah, and even like living in the town we live in, I didn't know. I just happened to come across it, and I was like, and I bought tickets a week before the show. I went down there, like, as soon as I saw it. Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I went down to the Coronado and was like, do you still have tickets? Like, I didn't even know this was a thing. And they didn't have it, like, out advertised or anything. I'm like, what in the heck?
How did you even hear about it?
Somebody mentioned something, like, one of my friends on Facebook mentioned something about it. And I was like, what?
And then I had to.
And when I came home and I showed Donovan, he was like, no freaking way. I'm like, I swear to God, it's next Friday. Like, he's going to be here.
And I thought, dude, there's no way those tickets are available. That's insane. So I go to the venue's website, nowhere on the front page. And I was like,
nothing.
Weird.
Like, nothing.
So I had to go look at, like, what's scheduled for that week. And in very tiny font, it's like, oh yeah, we have Louis C.K.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, by the way, this is going on Friday night.
This is
But it was so much fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, I wonder what is going to happen with him long term, because I wonder if he's just going to release his own specials or what.
I hope so. I don't want him to go away. I adore him, and I think he's brilliant.
I want to know what's going to happen with that movie.
Yeah,
that he did. That was like very Woody Allen.
Oh, I mean, I saw it.
Did you?
Oh, I'm so jealous. How good was it?
Like, was it?
It is awful.
Was
it?
Really bad.
Was it weird?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
It's really bad.
You know what? Maybe that's why he's not fighting to make it happen.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, not only was the movie really bad, but the movie also is impossible to watch the movie without thinking of the allegations, because like there's scenes in the movie where he's like pretending to jerk off in front of you. Like, it's just crazy. It's like,
no way.
It's like, yes. It's like, how can they make this movie? And it's like so creepy and so weird. It's just like,
and it's
That's
just straight up
bad.
What I wanted to hear.
I can get it.
It's really bad.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
I mean,
damn it,
you should
Louis.
watch it if you
Damn
can
it.
get a hold of it. It's definitely fascinating.
That's what it is. It's pure curiosity, because I really want to know. That's still like along the same lines of like Woody Allen making movies where he's dating underage girls. Like, that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why would you do that?
It's
And
crazy.
then Chris D'Elia playing a pedophile?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what is
there's
it
been
with
a
these
few.
people?
It's all so bizarre. It's just like their weird ego has to like get this out there or something. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah, it is. I want to know, like, I kind of want to know the inner workings of that kind of behavior.
Yeah, what is that? Or are they even aware that they're doing it?
Because there has to be somewhat, like, I don't know, maybe in my brain, it's just common sense. Like, if I am doing this one bad thing, I'm probably going to stay away from it. Like,
I'm not going to make a
really
movie surrounding that bad thing.
It's crazy.
Well, I think that with that, that's where we'll end it on here.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
It was nice meeting you and talking to you.
It was nice to meet you as well. It was so fun thanks for having me on the show.
It was totally fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Andrew, is there anything that you want to shout out, plug, do any of that self-promotion stuff?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, Andrew Michaan, Michaan. And yeah, my weekly podcast YouTube show is called Podcast But Outside. And if you're not familiar, my friend Cole Hirsch and I just set up a table on the sidewalk and interview strangers walking down the street. If you're missing social interaction during the pandemic, it's an easy way to randomly see and meet new people.
I love that.
So,
I love
there
that
you go.
podcast, by the way. That's like,
Yeah,
I don't watch a whole lot.
Thank you
like,
so much.
Donovan always recommends podcasts to me, but that is one that I really, really do enjoy,
Sure.
and I do watch. I love that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm proud of what we're doing, and I really like meeting weird and new people and just showing them on the internet to
It's
people.
honestly one of the very few dedicated podcasts that I look forward to every day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So definitely go check that out. And with that, I will see you guys next time.
Oh, I'll also plug Donovan's GoFundMe. He's almost
That's
there.
right.
Almost
Good
there.
Yeah.
God, I think Anakin just farted. Holy crap, dude. Move. Wow. That was gross. Sorry
Thanks for
about
having
that.
me, guys.
Bye.